teenagers.
Mm-hmm. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome everyone to, I guess, what channel is this? It's not her channel. This is my channel, Teacherpreneur Sherry. So welcome to Teacherpreneur Sherry. If you are watching the replay, then hit hashtag replay to let me know that you've joined for the replay. Also, this is being broadcast, live streamed via StreamYard. So if you are not already signed up with StreamYard saying, yes, it's okay for them to put my name, you'll have to click the box to do that. Otherwise, I won't see who it is when you make a comment. But let me know you're here, and also let me know that you can hear. So there's one person watching. Maybe it's Matt. This is my sister, Jess. Thanks for joining.
Thank you for having me.
Do you think Matt is the one watcher?
Probably.
All right. So hopefully we get some other people joining us. Oh, now we're up to 2. So maybe it's our mom watching too.
I doubt it.
So,
She doesn't watch us.
Oh.
Or I don't think she watches me.
Okay. So welcome to my channel. Today I am interviewing my sister, kind of just chatting. And we are going to discuss other ways that you can work from home, making money on your schedule, and actually making really good money. So Jess, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I am the youngest sister, and I am a mom of 3, soon to be 4. And I have been a thrifter pretty much my whole life. And I used to be into social work and knew when I was going to become a mom, it wasn't going to be a long-term job for me. So I switched and I started working at Goodwill off and on through college, and then later decided, you know what, I think I can make a career out of this, and that's what I've done.
Okay, so some people may not know what thrifting and thrift stores are.
So I learned from working through a thrift store things that can resell well. And by doing that, I kind of helped train myself to become a reseller where I buy things for cheap and I sell them online for a profit.
Okay, so you would say that the definition of thrifting is to buy things cheap and resell?
Oh, thrifting? Oh gosh, no. People thrift for themselves personally, which is what I did for several years prior.
Okay.
Thrifting, I would say flea markets, garage sales, yard sales, rummage sales, whatever you want to call them, secondhand, meaning pre-owned. I do find new tag items as well, though.
Okay. So you're buying items that are secondhand is what you would describe as thrifting. So the definition of thrifting is buying items that are I didn't type it out. Secondhand. So let's hide that so I can fix that. So secondhand items. And would you say that's something that a lot of people do?
When I was actually in high school, I would not tell my friends where I got my clothes. I was embarrassed. I would lie. And it wasn't until I was in college that I came into myself and I became confident with it. And now the teenagers are like pretty much bragging that they got it thrifting, because this whole trend of wearing vintage clothes like the mom jeans and the chunky sweaters is like all the rage.
Okay. So I shop at thrift stores because I want to save money. Like it's cheaper.
Oh, very much so. So an item, can retail for a lot, and you can go to the thrift store and buy it for just a few dollars, new or hardly used.
And sometimes the clothes are more comfortable because they've been worn, they've been washed, and some of them are brand new with tags. So you're actually buying something that was never even really worn, and you're buying it for very little money. And Gertrudis is saying that's a good way to save money. Yeah, it is. So honestly, even people who are millionaires thrift shop, don't they?
Yes. So I worked at thrift stores for probably five more years on and off. And from that, I can tell you that the common shopper is a middle class person.
Okay. So the common shopper is middle class, but also you do get some people who have a lot of money and they could afford to buy clothing or other items, because it doesn't have to just to be clothing. I mean, it's everything, right? That's why eBay became so popular.
Yeah.
Because it was just a global market that you could reach. So how long have you been doing this?
I have been selling online for 5 years. And then I have grown my business by listing items on other platforms or websites. So it has a higher chance of selling. And I started doing that probably 2 years ago.
Yeah. So now, some of my people that are here are watching the replay possibly might be people who are learning English, but I also
Okay.
have quite a few people who are on this channel who are teachers, online teachers.
Mhm.
And right now things have changed over the last 6 months or so. Things have changed and it's a little bit more difficult to get online teaching jobs. And so they're looking for other ways to have either a side income
Mhm.
or their main income.
Yeah.
And do you think that thrifting is something that they could do and turn a profit within a short period of time? Or is it something that they need to invest 5 years in order to get the
no.
results that you do?
So my first year, it was all about learning, even though I had experience with working in secondhand clothes. But I would say you learn what your niche is. Like I love selling vintage, which is items that are 20 years or older. Some people love selling shoes. So you find that one thing that you're good at and that you like to do. And most people are successful in that.
So it's really interesting to me that you talked about niche, because online teachers, you're always being preached to by people who supposedly know more about the business. And they say, find a niche, find a niche, find a niche. That's how you're going to be able to charge more for your lessons. And now I am doing copywriting and social media marketing. And again, all the gurus in those fields are saying, find your niche, find your niche. That is how you're going to be able to make more money, because you're going to be able to specialize, you know more about that area, and then you're going to find your target audience that way. So very interesting that you talked about niching. So vintage, because it didn't used to be vintage. You used to love shoes. Right?
Yeah. Well, I would sell anything that I could make a profit of about $15, whether it would be home goods, clothing, shoes, purses, really anything. And I decided, since my time is money, that I need to raise, I guess you could say, my hourly rate, which I can't even tell you what that is, because as resellers, which is what I call myself, it's about the average sale price. And so I no longer pick up those lower dollar items. I want to sell an item for $30 or more to increase my income.
Okay. So is this something like, how many hours a week do you think you typically are?
It really varies because I have to ship my items. I do everything. I do have a virtual assistant that helps me share on one platform, but gosh,
I didn't know you had a VA.
Yeah.
That is so funny.
It's a bot, but yes, I have a VA.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a bot. So
yeah.
Okay, we'll have to talk about that later.
It used to be more so controversial. Now it's becoming more mainstream with resellers.
Yeah.
How many hours? So it takes me about an hour to ship, and I do that 3 times a week. So there's 3 hours right there. And I would say I photograph 2 days a week. So 3, 5, 6. I would say less than 20 hours for sure.
And I talked to Callie because she's driving now. My daughter is 16 and she's driving, and she's asking for money to do this and that. I'm like, you need to start working for Jess again to take more photos. So she's supposed to talk to you about that.
Okay. I thought maybe she wasn't really passionate about it and I wasn't going to push it.
Yeah, I think it just got to where she was just so busy or whatever.
Yeah,
but
she did get busy.
She has a lot of time now on her hands, so she better be.
I could really use the help. I have trained both of my nieces to photograph for me. So I go to the thrift stores, I buy items that I feel confident would sell, and then I bring them home. I take the tags off, which, side note, I'm wearing a thrifted item. I washed it. I'm sitting here and I forgot to cut the tags off.
What's purple mean?
I don't know. They have colors of the week.
Right.
Some colors go on sale. But my cat,
okay.
Yeah, my cat's trying to get too close. So they take the pictures, and then I include measurements in most of my items, and the item sells. I have it already ready to ship, and I have USPS does package pickup for me. And so I've developed a relationship also with my postal worker who comes to my house and picks up between 10 to 20 packages 3 times a week, and they deliver the packages.
So, this is a way for her to, you do have to leave your house
Yes.
when you are buying items.
Yes, you have to go to the thrift store, and you can't just be in there for 20 minutes, realistically. You have to go item by item, and you have to have the patience to learn these things, because you can't just, it's not a switch. You're not just going to know what brands sell. It's either trial and error, which for me was mainly what it was, but I also have learned a lot of free advice from YouTube resellers. But you want to always take that with a grain of salt, because everybody's business is different. We live in a rural area here in Illinois. So that's why my niche is vintage, because I find it a lot. If you live in a big city, like say LA, you have great options to sell designer clothing. So
good point that
Yeah.
everybody is different.
Yes.
And I do feel, let's talk about networking. The cat just really wants to walk on the computer. So networking has really helped me in many, many different ways as I segued teaching online, networking with other teachers who'd been doing it a while, learned a lot from them. And now I'm mentoring others, and I still continue to learn from people all the time. But now that I'm moving into a different business, I'm finding I have other mentors that I'm looking at. I follow them on social media. I comment in different Facebook groups, Instagram, because I really think networking is a big piece of helping you improve your skills in that business. So are there any individuals that you'd like to talk about that you're like, oh, these are really good places to go to for
well, I
learning
say
about
that,
reselling?
and so with every workplace there is drama. It is like wherever you go, and so I'll follow someone for a long time, and then there's like a controversial thing, and so as far as like YouTube channels that I watch, because my niche is vintage, there is a YouTube channel, and they have a weekly show. It's Katie and Vicky. They're a couple based out of Las Vegas, and they are full-time resellers, and they make a killing. And so they go over everything. They give all this information out for free. I will message one of them on Instagram, and they will respond. So I feel like they are very approachable.
Awesome. So Katie and Vicky, way to work it. I love it when women help other women in business. That's why I love, as a copywriter, actually, let me think. Are all my clients women? I think all of my clients are women except for one.
That's very interesting. I guess I would say resellers. Oh, it's hard to say, because there are quite a few male resellers, but
Sure.
I guess the majority, 75% of the items I sell is mainly clothing. And so I would say the people I associate myself as majority as women.
Awesome. And I don't think that I have just sought other women business owners. I just think I'm in a certain niche.
Yes.
And it tends to be dominated more by women. So that makes sense. I did pitch someone who was a male, and fingers crossed, hopefully that will work out, because it's something, he wrote an ebook about music and like how to play a certain instrument. And he wrote it, but he wants somebody to review it and make it more interesting, because he says it's just kind of blah. Yeah. So I was like, ooh, I think that sounds really interesting. And I have played music. So anyway, so we'll see.
That would be fun.
Yeah. I
Something
think
a
so.
little bit different.
Yes. Because I've been writing more like social media posts and emails and things like that, which I enjoy doing. But yeah, I think that would be cool. So let's talk about how much you made the last couple of weeks, and how have your sales been today?
So I'm e-commerce pretty much. So it's divided in quarters. We're in Q4, quarter 4, which is October through December. And it's typically the highest income for this because of the holidays with Christmas. And so it also is the stage in your life, how much time you can devote to your business. So like I said, I have 3 little kids, and my 2 oldest boys went off to school this fall, which was great, because now I just have my 2-year-old daughter. And so I have been putting more time into my business. Therefore, I have seen major growth. And so as I have shifted the items that I'm picking up to resell, are you asking how much money I'm making? So I haven't done my spreadsheet recently. I have done a couple. If you want to hop over to my channel, which is, I don't think I've said my name.
You haven't.
Thrifting Is My Beach. Okay. So my Instagram name and my YouTube channel is called Thrifting Is My Beach because it is my complete therapy. She will put it also in the chat below so you can check that out. But I have done what sold videos over the weekends. I do like ship with me videos, and it's very casual conversation. Like I'm probably in my pajamas. You'll see my kids pop in and out. And I've made over $1,000 over the weekend, which would be like 2.5 days. And that was for each weekend. So as far as how much money I'm making, like realistically, I'm making,
So that's for about how many hours of work that one weekend? It's hard to say because you could have done the work months before and something finally shipped. So you do have inventory to deal with.
Yes. Yes. I currently have almost 1,300 items for sale in my store or closet, depending on which platform. So
have you thought about doing a website?
Yes, but then the marketing, you have to drive people to your website, and I just,
because that's my job.
I know, and I could, but maybe down the road,
right?
Because that's like when all my kids are in school, I thought about shifting a little bit to Amazon FBA, which you ship all your items to them and they ship it out. That way it's less work, but that's something down the road.
Right. Okay. Really
so
cool.
Realistically, I can't tell you an exact dollar amount how much I make each week, but I will let you know. It's as long as you are consistent, because that's the key. Is a lot of people give up within their first year of reselling because they don't see the growth that they want.
So, okay, there's another theme about business, and that's consistency. So we've already talked about niche, we've talked about networking, and we've talked about consistency. And that's one thing that e-commerce people, teachers, people who work in social media management, things like that, you have to be consistent with your posts on your marketing. Like if you say you're going to do something, you need to follow through and do it. And that was one thing, like when I was doing my teaching, I was spending so much time in the business that I wasn't spending enough time on the business. And that is a common theme that I see a lot of small business owners do. And so what I started doing is I started time blocking. So I would schedule my day where I would schedule in the time for marketing as part of my day. But as a vintage reseller, the platforms are doing the marketing for you, but you still have to do the listings.
Correct. So it's similar to Instagram as far as the algorithm. And it changes day by day, but you need to be listing items pretty much daily to get the views. And it also bumps you up in rank. And the more feedback you get, you get increased, and you get little symbols like stars, and you can become a power seller. And so buyers are more trustworthy of those sellers who have more experience.
Yeah. So just like those online teachers,
exactly,
we're all looking for 5 stars or 5 apples, and we're looking for the parent reviews that are positive, because parents will book us more frequently if they see that. I mean, and I know when I shop online, which actually there are 2 reasons why I don't shop online a lot. Number one is because I usually need it right then and there because I'm not a planner. And where we live, Amazon doesn't deliver the next day even often.
Right.
It's like 2 to 3 days. So it like I missed the boat. So maybe I'm getting better, but still. And then secondly, what was the other reason why I don't shop Amazon? Oh, I always look at the reviews though. So that's one thing. Like if I'm buying something online, I do look at the reviews before I make the purchase for sure.
Yep, for sure.
So, okay. So let's talk about a couple of the higher price items or more interesting things. And have you sold to any celebrities recently? I know you did a few months ago.
Well, I don't check, obviously. So I sell internationally. Most of my items, because I sell on multiple platforms, are just within the United States. But with eBay, I ship internationally. However, if I see an interesting address, like say Hollywood or somewhere in California, I have sold to big retailers like Tommy Hilfiger.
So you sold to Tommy Hilfiger himself?
No. Like, but one of the high up people. And
Oh,
what they're
yeah,
doing,
like CEOs and vice
CEOs
presidents
and stuff. And what they're doing is they're actually wanting their stuff back from like the 80s and 90s because they're wanting to recreate it.
Ah,
That's the thing.
Very cool.
3 months ago, I sold to Halsey, which is the major pop star.
Mhm.
And I am waiting. I keep checking her Instagram. I'm waiting for her to wear this dress that she bought from me.
Oh, yeah.
Because one of my resellers that I have been following for several years, she's also a vintage reseller. She sold a dress to Saturday Night Live that Kim Kardashian wore like a month ago, and it was they had huge ratings that night.
I haven't watched that episode
and
yet.
She sold, yeah, and I think she's actually interviewed for some magazine about it.
Oh, that's so cool. That's
Yeah.
so cool. So yeah, so I mean, that's just kind of an interesting tidbit.
Yeah.
But what was the most interesting item that you've sold?
I'll talk about a couple. So I sell a range of items. Like I said, I try to sell things for $30 or more. I would say an item that recently sold that was interesting, and it was my first time selling used underwear. But if you don't know, vintage Victoria's Secret is a thing. People find underwear that they love, it becomes discontinued, and they're willing to pay the price for something that they can't just go to the store and buy. And so I sold a pair of satin, which satin is very sought after. It's almost like, I don't know what that is, but it was sought after, and I sold it for $50. And I got it at an outlet store for Goodwill, which you pay by the pound. And so I paid probably 25 cents for it and sold it for $50. I'm trying to think of some other interesting items. Over the summer, I sold a gold bracelet for $1,000, and it went to a college football coach's wife, and it was a Mother's Day gift for her mother. So,
oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, guys. I have this person who is supposed to be doing an interview with me later today, and they're trying to reschedule, so they keep messaging me. I apologize for that noise. So how much did you spend when you bought that gold bracelet? 0.
I won't tell you where I got it, but it was given to me.
She regifted it to someone else for $1,000.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Did you ever tell that person?
No, I did not. No.
Hi, Jonathan. Great to see you. So she was just telling us about a story that she had this gold bracelet that someone had given her, and she resold it, and she made $1,000. That's a 100% profit margin, right? Is that the math?
Yeah, because you can't be more than 100%.
Right.
So you're right. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Okay, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Any other interesting?
Like the model teeth that you see at the dentist when they show you when you're a child how to brush your teeth. I've sold a set of those for like maybe $25, $30. Gosh, what I've sold things for lots of money. I've sold.
So tell us about internationally, because I know you said that you've, shipped things internationally. Are you careful with that?
Yeah. So for my protection, eBay has a program. It's their GSP. It's their global shipping program. It goes to their warehouse in Kentucky prior to shipping internationally, and they take care of the customs form, which I'm leery about. And also, depending on where it's going in the country, they have issues with stealing. And also, if you're trying to send a piece of like leather or jewelry directly to a country, they can stop it at customs, and you're just out that money. If ship it directly, which I have done that a few times, but for my protection, and if it's damaged while in transit, eBay automatically takes care of it, and you're covered.
That's a great program.
Yes.
I learned the hard way when I shipped a gift for a friend to Ecuador. Oh my goodness. It took like 3 months to get there, and then he had to pay a bunch of money to get it out of customs.
No.
And I learned that you're not supposed to send cash.
You sent money?
I sent some money
like, you're not
FedEx.
Oh, Sherry, you're not supposed to ship perfume internationally because it contains alcohol.
Yeah.
Somebody a month ago asked me in Mexico if
Mhm.
I could ship them perfume, and it's banned. So
Mm,
you do have to look out for that.
Interesting. Well, I learned my lesson. That's for sure.
Oh my gosh. So did he end up paying the
Oh, I mean, I ended up taking care of it, and he got the items, but oh my gosh, it was. And I got my money back. I got my cash back.
If you ship in the future, please contact me, because if you go to USPS and you're not a seasoned shipper, you will charge an arm and a leg. There's a much more affordable way to ship.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Well,
Which is a big part of my business.
yeah. So I think we covered everything. So if somebody wants to get started with being a reseller,
Yes.
how would you suggest that they get started?
Okay. This is the most practical way. Don't have any capital. You source items, which means you get items from your house. How I started was my husband had collected junk from auctions or whatever, like antique items over the years. And he's like, here, you can sell these. Let's get some extra cash. I was expecting my second child, and I know I was going to leave my current job and have like a babysitting thing going on at home while I have two little kids. And so I started selling Fire King, a highly collectible kind of Fire King, which is a cookingware brand, dishware brand, is jadeite, which it's like this mint green color of glass. It's really pretty. It's highly sought after. And we sold some dishes, and we set at an auction. eBay initially, when they opened in the 90s, was all ran by auction. However, buyers now are impulsive. We just want to click buy it now, have it sent to us, and be done. So I would say 99% of my items that I do sell are buy it now. I don't do auctions. But for that case, I did do an auction. It went up to $100. It sold. I shipped it, and we sold a few more of his items. So the thing is you would be shocked, absolutely shocked at what will sell online used. Go to your cupboards, sell your old small kitchen appliances, or go in your bathroom and sell discontinued beauty products. That's what I would suggest, because that way you're learning as you go. So if you're making any mistakes, you're not eating any money, because this is something that you personally owned. Clean out your closet, clean out your wardrobe, things that don't fit you.
I keep saying I'm going to do this, and I haven't, and I need to, because I have so much like crap at my house.
Yes.
Not crap, but it's junk.
Somebody else's.
Well, maybe it's not junk, but it's just stuff that's sitting around that I'm not using. Yeah. Okay. So I want to get rid of my piano. Is that even worth trying to get rid of?
Okay, unfortunately, unless it's like a modern electric piano that plays
it's a Steinway. I mean, it is an antique.
I'm talking about like what mom and dad have.
Yeah.
Okay, so the like you pretty much, you give them away for free.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It's super sad.
Yeah.
Now, maybe if you were in a more city, you could find a musician,
right,
or somebody who appreciates that.
Yeah, I just want somebody to come take it, and I'll even help them move it.
It's terrible. Even like with dish sets, these old like vintage Noritake dish sets that women used to have, mid-century. That was a lot of money, and they're now just collecting dust at the thrift stores. People would not buy them. And when I worked at Goodwill, we would legit like have to throw them in the dumpster. Super sad. But that's just the reality.
Would you throw them and smash them and make them?
Well, no, because they would shatter, and you could get, for safety reasons.
Yeah, you can do that, because did you know that they have places you can go and break things now?
Yes, pay to let out your frustration.
Yes.
That would be fun.
You put on goggles and you like smash stuff. I think that'd be so much fun.
I've heard about that on a podcast, I believe. That would be a lot of fun.
Oh, maybe we should do that sometime. They also have the axe throwing place.
I don't trust myself. I'm a clumsy. No.
Well, I think those would be fun things. So anyway, so here you guys go. She made $1,000 the last 2 weekends
each.
Okay. Yeah. And when you think about how much time you put into maybe teaching, and maybe this could be another option for you, and you don't have to, if you're one of the teachers like me who teach internationally and wake up early in the morning, this is something that maybe you could do instead of that. Now I'm finding myself a little bit more intrigued that I need to go and just start putting stuff in a container, and I need to do research, because you have to research to see.
Yes, you can't set your price. That's the problem, is people think, oh, I paid $200 for the sweater. It's worth $150. No, it's not. Sorry. You go by what the market is saying it's worth.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you need to be realistic with your expectations. You can go down that rabbit hole and find out how to check how much items are selling for, because people will list an item. It doesn't matter how much they list it for. It matters how much it sells for.
Very good.
Yep.
So let's talk about the housing market.
Mm-hmm.
That's another way, when you're talking about selling your house, you look to see what are other similar houses in the neighborhood selling for. Not how much people are listing them for, but how much are they selling them for? So it's really interesting to me that all these themes we've been talking about reselling and teaching and social media management, virtual assistants, all of those things are kind of tied together with the same business themes. And again, just as a review, we talked about networking. We talked about doing research. What else did we talk about? We talked about so many things. We talked about finding your niche in your business to work from home. We also talked about, there's one other important thing and it left me.
You're talking about networking,
consistency. Yes. So consistency is key. So I find often when I feel the most like this is not working, it's too much, I'm overwhelmed, that is just this one point that once you push past that, then there's great growth after that.
Yes.
Would you kind of feel that way too?
Totally. Because with e-commerce, you're not getting a consistent paycheck. Same thing with teaching. It goes by class, right? How many students sign up? With reselling, you can put in 5 hours of work a day and not sell anything. Now, does that happen to me? Hardly ever at this point in my career. But yes, it used to. I would work and I would get $0 that day. So
I remember when your phone used to go cha-ching.
Yes.
To tell you that it was a sale, because it was like,
it's so exciting. And unfortunately, my newest phone that I got a couple years ago doesn't ding anymore.
Oh,
it is super sad. But as a reseller, you are completely glued to your phone, because when buyers or potential customers have questions, you want to respond immediately. And so that is part of it. And also, you just want to be present in your business. So there is another work-life balance that comes into, being a small business owner.
But you do a really great job of drawing that line though too, right?
Right. Yeah. Like I said, I'm home with my kids, but I make it work between nap times and when the kids are busy doing their own thing. I'm on my phone and I can work. I work all the way on my phone, except when I list an item on a different platform. I do use my desktop for that. But generally, I photograph.
Desktop or a laptop?
Laptop. I'm sorry. I don't have a desktop. I do the majority of my work all on my phone.
And what kind of phone do you have?
I have a Note 10, which is almost 2 years old.
Right. I went in and we were ordering some new phones, and you couldn't even get any older iPhones.
Really? They don't even offer them?
Because I was getting a phone for my son. I'm like, he doesn't need
the newest,
a new. And then they're like, well, we don't even have any of the older ones in stock. They stopped making them. I'm like, what?
You can buy them online?
That sounds crazy. Yeah, you can buy them online. We ended up getting him a different brand anyway. But yeah, so I used to like the Note a lot, but now I'm kind of an Apple person.
I will tell you, I tried, my only Apple I had, guys, was back when it was an Apple 4. I still have it because it has my son's pictures on it from my oldest pictures on it. But I will tell you why I like the Note 10, and it's because I'm an Android user, always have been, but it has the stylus. This is like the end all be all. So
you can use it with an iPhone too. It's just not right in there.
Right. It's not, you have to dig it through your purse, and how many times you're going to lose it.
Yeah.
That's
true too. So that's true too. All right. Well, thank you, Gertrudis, for watching today. For those of you, again, that are watching on the replay, please do #replay. And if you have any specific questions for Jess, I will put in the feed that she said this is a dinosaur cell phone. Yeah, your iPhone 4 is a dinosaur cell phone.
It probably is.
Yeah. If you have any specific questions about reselling, how to get started, you can go to her Insta or her YouTube. I will put that in the feed below. And thanks so much for stopping by. There are so many different other options for you to explore working from home that are legitimate businesses. And reselling, you don't have to have a lot of outflow of money. at the beginning, and then you just level up each time, and you get a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger. And like, look, you could sell pretty awesome stuff to amazing people who are doing really cool things. So you're welcome, Gertrudis. Thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of your weekend. Thank you, Jess, for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
I learned some more things from you today. And she's a very astute businesswoman, and you can do it as well. See ya.
Bye.